Alright, so here's my stove and my sink, and I mentioned that there was another secret to this thing that I would show in another video. Now, I brought my own fridge with me to use in addition to the fridge that came with this place, because I wanted a little more fridge space to put stuff. I had emailed the landlady and asked her if there was a refrigerator, a second one in the fridge in the kitchen area, and she said no, so that's why I brought my own fridge. But evidently she either does not know about this or forgot about it. I was moving in, bringing all my stuff in, when I noticed this handle sticking out here. Get a load of that. Is that not the most coolest, most retro thing you've ever seen? A refrigerator built in to the stove and the sink. Yeah, that was so cool when I first found that. I've never seen anything like that before, and I did some research. I have seen them in motorhomes, but never in actual appliances that you'd use in a normal house or whatever. I did some research, and this whole thing is what would be called, depending on where you look, either a compact kitchen or an all-in-one kitchen. And this thing was made and sold like this. It's one single appliance with a stove, a sink, and a refrigerator, all in one. That you'd buy it in an appliance store as a single unit and have it installed in your home. And I think that's really awesome. I love things that have, several features or appliances or whatever built into one compact unit. I always love stuff like that. And there you just heard the compressor kick on. So yeah, I was speaking to the housekeeper, who apparently when she was showing me this room last year, she pointed this out to me, but I guess I forgot about it. She said it can only be used as a freezer because no matter where the thermostat is, it just freezes everything. Well, I've had all these drinks in here, and I set the thermostat, and it's plenty cold, but it's not freezing anything. It's just perfect. So I've dedicated this to be my beer fridge, by which I mean my water, Gatorade, and Diet Mountain Dew fridge. I've decided to no longer drink non-diet pop, too much sugar in it. And there's a freezer up here. I would guess there would probably used to be a door over the freezer. That's long gone, so I doubt the freezer would work that great anymore, but oh well. When I opened this up for the first time, this tray here was on the bottom, and there was a bunch of dirty yellow water there. And I didn't have high hopes when I saw that. But it turns out, from what I can tell, there used to be a drip tray under the freezer here, which was long gone, so the freezer was just dripping all over the fridge. So what I've done is I took this tray, which is supposed to be a vegetable drawer that sits under here, and it fits under here, so I'm using this as the drip tray now. And seems to be working so far. I don't feel any moisture of any sort, so that's good. But yeah, that's really awesome. Now you got this door over here, close that, and you got a fuse box. This thing uses the old-fashioned, well, I guess they're not old-fashioned because they're probably still used on a lot of stoves, but the glass screw-in fuses. And here's the manufacturer's info. This was made by W.C. Wood, a Canadian company who used to manufacture a lot of appliances, freezers, refrigerators. They no longer exist. They went bankrupt in 2009, but they made a lot of good stuff. Not to be confused with the similarly named Woods Industries, an American company who continues to operate today. Although I don't think they're their own company anymore, they're just a brand name under another company. But they continue to make electrical products like this surge protector. So this is a Woods model C015. I've looked that up. I can't find anything about this. Can't find much information at all about compact all-in-one kitchens. There's the serial number, and no date of manufacture, which is too bad. If I had to guess though, this thing's probably from the 1970s, maybe the 1980s. It's got the old Woods logo. I can't find when they moved to the new logo either. It's got separate electrical specs for the stove and the refrigerator. The refrigerator, it's got R12 refrigerant, the good stuff. 120 volts, 60 hertz, and 1.4 amps. The stove is 1250 watts for each burner, 120 volts, 60 hertz, and 11 amps for each burner. And it's got where maybe you could put tools as a manual or something. There's the compressor in there. So yeah, even though this is a built-in thing, you know, if the freezer or if the fridge ever busted, the compressor wouldn't quit working or whatever, you wouldn't have to tear this thing out of your wall to replace the compressor. Just do it all right here. The compressor is made by Matsushita Electric. It also does not have a date of manufacture. And that's about it in there. From what I found online, right up until they went bankrupt, Woods actually made a version of this, upgraded aesthetics, but otherwise it was exactly the same, and the retail price was like, I think like $1,500 or around there for the modern day version. But yeah, you can look on some websites, and the modern version of this was called the Woods C015W, I believe, and it was white in color, and you could buy it from some online retailers before Woods went out of business. So yeah, you know, I thought that was a pretty nice surprise. I don't think these are terribly common. A really cool vintage appliance, very cool looking, and I just love the style and everything, and yeah, that's about it. You can actually go on the Internet Archive and look at Woods' website. It was www.wcwood.com, and this particular iteration of the website I went on, I started on a copy of the home page from the year 2000, led me to this 2001 Woods catalog, which the Internet Archive actually archived. And yeah, Woods made so many products, all of them incredibly high quality, all of them built in Canada, usually of high quality components from companies known for producing good stuff, like the Matsushita compressor in my compact kitchen there. But yeah, they made incredibly high quality stuff. They did not deserve to go out of business. But such is life, I guess. I know upstairs in the community kitchen we have one of the upright freezers there. That's a Woods unit. Back at home, our deep freeze, that's a Woods unit. But they list the one compact kitchen they made. There it is, the K05W, and as you can see, it's the same basic design. They just upgraded it to look more modern, replace the wood grain finish with white enamel or whatever. But otherwise, it's actually pretty much inch for inch the exact same machine. They list the specifications in the index under refrigerators, and there it is right there. They had two versions, one white and one almond. Almond would be a nice color for one of those. They don't give a price, but there you go anyhow. And if you're watching this but you never watched my apartment tour video, you got the two burners controlled by these knobs here, neon lamps. You got the sink, and this thing's covering a space behind this thing because they couldn't push it all the way against the wall, but that looks good enough. And interestingly, these are meant to be directly wired into your electrical system, but whoever installed this thing just took the electrical cord, installed a plug on it, and that's really not very good, because each burner alone is 11 amps. A single outlet's only good for up to 15 amps. So if I were to turn both burners and crank them up all the way, both of them, I would probably pop the circuit breaker that goes to this place. And if I didn't, then something's wrong. But they just kind of took the lazy route and put a plug on it. It's a bit beaten up. We've got some wood grain falling off there. Door's kind of beaten in there. And there. Other than that, it's in decent shape. But yeah, if I ever had a small house or a cottage or something, a rig like this whole thing would be really cool to have. And that's your temperature control there. And yeah, there you go. That's the Woods C015 compact all-in-one kitchen from the 1970s or 80s in my apartment.